Hello, it's Jazz. It's West Ham Irons channel. It's breaking news time. Well, from yesterday, late evening, afternoon anyway. West Ham reportedly, by one or two sources, we have to talk about it. We have to be brave enough to tackle it and talk about it, as this channel always does. And me, obviously, one of the earliest ones, if not the earliest, always, that West Ham, which makes complete sense to me, and I've been banging my head there on the wall and table for weeks and weeks, if not months. West Ham have made approaches to Poch and his team about talking about the option, the possibility of how he would feel managing West Ham United. And that's the way a club should work. Okay, it's good. It's okay giving us those statements. So we're not going to sack him. We never even thought about it. Not even 1% chance. There's no one better in the whole world at turning us around. And I keep telling you, I followed football for ages. He ain't going to turn this around. You might get the odd win in the next four. He ain't going to get away from it. There's too many issues, as I've mentioned. Academy, in-game management, getting the best out of the people you brought in, getting the best out of the people that are already there. Tactics, poor backroom team staff. It's all over the place, and he ain't going to turn this back. He's too old. His habits are just there, and we've seen it time and time again. And the earliest we pull the trigger, there is no emotion involved in life or football. I'm telling you right now, right? And for my club, we're going down quickly down the table, and we're in the bottom three, right? And we have obviously some of the results that have been out there are shocking. Forest, Brighton, in-game management against Chelsea, ambition against Spurs at home, performances in Europa. I know we're top of the league, but hey, we have looked at the same level as the teams we're playing from Denmark and, leagues like that. So for me, yeah, West Ham have approached Poch. And what the early indications from Poch are that he certainly will be happy to entertain the option of managing West Ham ahead of Villa, as an example. Villa, he's mentioning, because Villa, Leicester, they could be looking for new managers soon alongside us, and he's not at the moment. He's not interested in the Villa project. He said there's too much of a building sort of project there, and he's not really interested in that. Really, I suppose he's a manager whose reputation is intact. He's very well sought after. There's rumours that in the past he's turned down Man United. He's kind of held in that high regard. So he's not interested, but the West Ham one he's okay with, as long as he gets reasonable money in January. So that's kind of what his issue is, which I don't think is a big issue, because you're not kind of going to pay him. You don't have to pay another club to get him out. So negotiations should be fairly swift. He'll probably earn a tad more than David Moyes, I believe. I think Moyes is about the 8th highest, is he in the league, something like that, 9th. So he's going to cost a bit more than that, but you're not paying a compensation. He's a good manager. He has improved his English over the years. It wasn't that good when he first arrived at Southampton and Spurs. He'll probably have one or two favourite coaches he wants to bring. I don't think West Ham are one of those clubs who ever have issues with managers bringing their own backrooms, because we don't really have anything. So they build it from scratch. You know that when Moisey came in, there was nothing there. So it's a good time for Moisey to leave and hopefully take over another club in the same situation as us. And we want to thank him for his time. He's been absolutely brilliant. He's made us more solid, and we're kind of, even though the results are terrible going back a year, we are still slightly in a better position than when he took over. But that could all change if this carries on. We've obviously wasted the 1 or 2 weeks off we had due to the internationals, which I'm not happy about. That could have been useful for Poch, or kind of any other manager comes in. But for me, Poch is the one I want. And when the World Cup's not happening, you got a whole month off in November. The new manager like Poch could use that to, get into the training ground, bed in his new backroom team, work with the youngsters, the academies, which is such a big point now. And Noble coming in is also, it's sending all the signals, isn't he? West Ham are reportedly speaking to Poch. Noble's coming out the blue, rush back, if anything, it looks like, to give one last chance to Moyes. And I'm sorry he's lost that chance for me. It's just not good enough. It's been crap since December. The starter's been crap. and you've given him all this money in the summer when I would have been okay with him leaving, you know. So Poch is the one. We've spoken to him. It's really, really good news for me. And that's the thing you meant to do, but you've wasted another 2 weeks. And the rumours are building up. If we don't do well in the next 3 games, then I think the writing's got to be on the wall. Otherwise, normally typical West Ham, we wait and wait and wait like we did with Pellegrini. He overstayed by a good number of games, Pellegrini, right? And it could get worse. And like I mentioned, we are in the bottom 3. Yes, it is early days, but 1 or 2 more bad results. And when you look at that table, we could be 4, 5, 6 points adrift of safety, and we won 1 game all season against 4. I mean, yeah, 1 game all season we won, right? So that's how serious it is. It will mean that we'll need 1 or 2 wins just to try and get out, and then hoping already that results go in our favour. It's a shocking position to be in, and we've seen in the international break how well the players have reasonably done who are not playing well for us, you know. So I think Paqueta had a half decent game. Kerr at right back was very good. So they're not bad players, and they weren't when we bought them. So why are they look at all sorts at the moment? Really, Poch makes sense. Age, experience in the Premier League, reputation. Yes, he hasn't won anything, but that can be fixed, and we can improve on 6th and 7th under him. And he'll have clout worldwide, especially the South American market. Being Argentinian, he'll get the best out of Paqueta. Emerson's kind of from Brazil anyway, so and hopefully the Argentinian market is huge. Hopefully he'll have 1 or 2 fingers in that pie, and obviously he's got the experience of doing well before he came to Southampton, coaching Southampton well. Spurs gave him the job, turning Spurs into the big stadium, the top 4 powerhouse that it is today. We can't get away from that fact. Bringing through players and improving players like Kane, Dalieli, Rose, all those different people, doing well with Ericsson, you know, and PSG's got the experience of working with big personalities. So I think he's got it all. And it's all about timing, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about fit. He'll be a great fit for our club. Trust me, I was the only one who wanted Moyes to come in because he was a good fit for us at that time. But having said that, even with Poch, in this day and age, you can only hope that someone does well for a couple of seasons, and usually they move around due to, you know, same thing at the moment, that they're bored of David Moyes' approach, his tactics. The message is boring. It's just that players are not interested anymore. So sometimes there's nothing more you can do once you get into that trap, and you're only going to make it worse for the fans, for Moyes, for everyone in our financial situation. And I think the Kotensky, the money he's put in, and he's surely in the short term about to come in at some point, we cannot even risk going down, you know, and we've got to fix this. And you know, with Christmas not that far away now, I know it's a stupid thing to say. Usually the team in the bottom 3 or the bottom, they don't get out of it, right? And this league is very competitive. This season more than ever. Every team's got half decent players, spent a lot of money. There's a lot of money in the Premier League. So I don't think the new sort of proposed person coming in to be the majority shareholder will want to risk that. So let's see what happens. I mean, Wolves is a bit like Brighton. It's a bit up and down with them. Costa's making his debut for them. Why didn't we look at him as a Antonio Scamacca backup? You know, as a Scamacca back especially. We can play by himself, but I don't know why we messed up a couple of free transfers we could have had. So for me, it's exciting news. It is only 1 or 2 sources, but I believe it. And I think it's good kind of proactiveness from the club to speak to managers who will be in demand. You know, he's not with a club, and there are a couple of clubs in the Premier League that could be reviewing their position with their managers, and we've got to move quick, be proactive, test the waters, because again, there's no club to worry about, so you can approach him and his team, and straight away you know if he wants to come or not. And I believe that, as reported, that he does want to come, just wants reassurances over the money that he will be given in January. And it could be a lovely 2-year plan for Poch to turn our academy around, stop the youngsters that are going out. We've all heard about Perkins smashing it at Leeds, things like that. Let's do this. Let's bring the smiles back on the fans' faces, and let's stick 2 fingers up at Spurs, because Poch will want to do that. That first game, Spurs West Ham, Poch in our dugout. No need for motivation from the player, from the managers, from the fans. This is what I want. Down the road to Spurs. They didn't treat him that well in the end. What more motivation does Poch want? We're a huge club based in London, 63,000 week in, week out, huge fan base. It's time to not be just happy with 7th or 8th, 9th or 10th. Let's keep pushing, and this is the way to push along. So great news. West Ham talking to Poch. Let's see what happens in the next 3 games. But for me, it's over for Moyes. And the quicker the pain goes away for him and everyone, the better. Come on, Poch. Come on and bring the glory days back to West Ham. Get in there. Come on, you Irons. Take care.